I was going to make a video today about that creepy ass song that the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir put out that says, "We're coming for your children, and we're going to make them like us. And if you think that you're going to stop us, you're wrong." Yeah, no. I ain't worried about y'all. Y'all ain't doing anything to my children, or my neighbor's children, or anybody that I know's children. So, anyway. Half of y'all are sex offenders. I'm going to start posting your rap sheets so everyone can see. And you're doing a huge disservice to the LGBTQ community with that video, because normal people that are gay and lesbian, they don't like it. It's creepy when you talk about coming for people's children. But I'm making a video today to tell you something that I've been predicting and saying for about 20 years now. That within my lifetime, we will see World War III. Why do I say that? Because I'm a student of history. World history, US history. I've read something called books. It's a lost art. I started doing it when I was young. And I started noticing a pattern that most great civilizations tend to fizzle out and end and die off around the quarter century mark. Here we are at year 250, and we've got some scary things going on. Our country is divided now, probably more than it ever has been. I'd argue that it's more divided than it was pre-Civil War. We have people thinking that everyone hates each other, and that's not the case. Why do they think that? Well, number one, we've got experts on racism and how to fix it, like Ibram X. Kendi. Well, Ibram X. Kendi, the expert on racism, doesn't even know what racism is, because he wrote a book on it. And he admitted that he was racist against white people that were the devil. Why? What makes me the devil? I'd really love to know. But anyway, he was asked during a press conference, how do you define racism, by a journalist? And he said, well, racism is a collection of racist stuff with racist ideals and other racist stuff put together by racism. And everybody was like, what? That's, huh? Okay, let me back up. Racism is defined by racist stuff with racist things amongst racism. That's what racism is. No, wrong, idiot. Racism is judging someone based on the color of their skin, not by their moral turpitude, which you are unfamiliar with as well, by the content of their heart, and by their actions and what they do. That's what racism is. Racism is hiring a vice president because she's black. It's also misogynistic when you do it because she's a black woman. You only did it not because she's a good vice president, because clearly she's not. I mean, she hasn't even been to Europe. What's your point, Lester? I can't believe she said that. What a freaking joke. You're an embarrassment. But anyway, he did it because he knew he would get black people to vote for him, because we have a black woman running for vice president with him, right? And we also thought that, well, we'll get women to vote for us because we want a first woman vice president. Well, now we got a black female vice president who happens to be a complete moron. She went to visit the border, missed the mark by like 300 miles. It's like saying I'm going to New York and you land in Kentucky. No exaggeration there. But she hasn't been to Europe while people are suffering in this humanitarian crisis, and we have absolutely zero national sovereignty. You don't have a country without borders, in case you didn't know that. So, America is not the ground on which you stand, it's the Constitution and those unalienable God-given rights to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And they're destroying the fabric of our nation by defunding the police. There's a spike in crime. Everyone knows about that. I don't have to explain that. But back to that racist expert book. Michael Gilday, the guy that runs the Navy, the commander, put it on the reading list. Everybody in the Navy should read that book so they can become unracist because they're white, maybe, or whatever. The point, I don't know. The guy doesn't even seem to know. It seems like he was put up to it. He couldn't clearly define when asked why. Well, if you look at it from my angle, China has said that they are going to very soon be the dominating world power. They said they're going to take over the world. and they're going to defeat the United States. China has concentration camps filled with Uyghur Muslim men. They've been put in those concentration camps, number one, to produce goods like the stuff that Colin Kaepernick wears, that social justice warrior Nike stuff. Yeah, it's all produced in China using slave labor, underage slave labor, female slave labor, but he's a social justice warrior, right? Yeah. That makes as much sense as Ibram Kendi being an expert on racism, even though he doesn't know the definition of racism. Moving along. Those men are in concentration camps, so the Chinese Communist Party can march in and rape the women without being met with opposition because the men are locked up. They are performing a form of genocide through rape. They're trying to rape the Uyghur Muslim gene out of that population. But all the social justice warriors and the woke-ass corporations out there fighting for justice and equality, yeah, all their shit comes from China. Amazon, Nike, Puma. So, now that the Navy has critical race theory being crammed down their throats, morale is at an all-time low. That's not something that I'm just saying. That's coming from naval officials who know what they're talking about. That's coming from naval personnel. People have asked me when I said we're going to see World War III in my lifetime with China, hey, why wouldn't they just do it? They were outnumbered like drastically, but they have so many people. Well, they don't have a Navy. Well, they're building up that Navy at a very, very fast rate. What are we doing? We're disassembling our Navy. We're dividing them. We're getting them to fight against one another. We're convincing them that they're bad because they're white. I'll tell you this. If I got a black guy next to me in a foxhole and someone's shooting at me, I don't give a shit what color that guy is. As long as he's pointing that way towards the bad guy and not towards me, we're brothers in arms. So color doesn't really come into play in combat. And we're going to find out real quick how much we really hate each other. And when I say that, what I really am saying is how much we don't hate one another, how much we need one another, how much we don't need Biden. Biden's a racist, by the way. Biden didn't want your kids going to school with black kids. That's what he did for most of his career, the 55 years or whatever he's been in Washington. He opposed integration in the school systems. Again, he hired a vice president because of the color of her skin. A complete moron. Ill-equipped for the job. His son, in writing, declares time and time again that his lawyer, a black man, is yeah, you guessed it, the N-word. Racism is terrible. No one should want their children to become racist. But if you're racist, your kids become racist. Maybe that's why Hunter Biden thinks it's appropriate to call his black attorney the N-word. Maybe it's all the people that say racism is a problem, that white supremacy is the biggest threat to national security. Maybe they're the ones that are racist. Maybe all these social justice warriors have no clue what the hell they're talking about because they're so woke, they support companies like Nike that, again, use slave labor. All the LGBTQ plus community members, first of all, they didn't make that weird ass video, we're coming for your children. And by the way, if you come for my children, I'll meet you with deadly force. Because if you do, I'll kill you. Anyway, back to the main thing. They do stuff like this to get everybody thinking about other stuff like Bill Cosby and Britney Spears and stuff that doesn't really matter when China and Russia are doing tandem military drills off the coast of Hawaii, 35 miles off the coast. Not cool. Biden says, don't attack us, don't hack us, don't do those cyber attacks. 16 items. Everything else is fair game, just 16 things. I think that leaves like 320 million of us open to whatever they want to do. But they do it, no consequences. He says, don't do it, we'll put a boot up your ass. No boots, no asses. So do you think the country that has said that they want to take over the world doesn't see a divided and weak nation with a weak leader who's not really a leader? Don't you think they know that they control Facebook? Don't you think they know that Facebook, Amazon, all those big corporations that shut you up when you speak out against it, don't you think they know that they're on their side? Don't you think they know that this is a big setup and that we're in for it? We're in for a fight. I say this with great sadness, but I'm not an ostrich with my head buried in the sand, and I'm also not afraid to say it because it's true. I pray to God every day that I'm wrong, but with each passing day and with each tidbit of information that comes out, I see how accurate my assessment is. So look at what's going on. Pray. And before I end this video, I would like to say this. You will not, in my lifetime, while I have air in my lungs and my heart is still beating, make this a communist nation. I will speak out against it and do what I can to stop it until my very last breath. I am not going to let my children grow up in a country where they will die a bloody death, because communism has killed more people than anything in the history of mankind. That's a fact. God bless you. God bless the Constitution. God bless our God-given rights to life, liberty, and happiness. God bless what's left of America. And God bless patriots that stand ready when the wolf comes. Be well, everyone. Be vigilant and pay attention. I love y'all. We're going to make it. Ain't going to be easy, but we're going to make it.